Hey everyone, it's Jason. Today we're going to do an unboxing for a booster box for Munchkin, the collectible card game. So if you're familiar with Munchkin, it's a D&D fun kind of like game where you play as like various races and classes, and you're trying to collect armor and weapons to defeat monsters to get to level 10. The whole big thing with the game is kick down the door to see what monsters are coming, and then loot the rooms. Try and hit level 10 to win the game. But it's all standard. Everyone uses a shared deck. And it has lots of tongue-in-cheek humor, which is the big thing of it. It doesn't take itself serious at all. In fact, cheating is encouraged. So then, later on, now they've done tons and tons of sets and different expansions. They went to different properties, Marvel, Adventure Time, Pathfinder, Conan. They've been in space, ninjas, West, every different type of genre, Russian, fairy tales, magic, all sorts of stuff. So they decided to make a trading card game. So instead of buying a box, having everything to play right in there, this is where you buy your booster packs, and you will have various cards in there to make up your own deck. So then each person is going to take a class: thief, cleric, warrior, bard, wizard, and there was one more, and I can't remember what it is. Ranger. Oh boy, this does not want to come out. Oh, it's because there's a piece of cardboard stuck in there. Yeah, and then you build your own deck of 40 cards. And the deck is built up of two different things. It's either generic gray cards or cards for your class, which are also kind of color-coded to help out, so that each class has its own color. There's a retailer kit. That doesn't really help anybody. One of the starter decks is going to look like something like this. Now, I'm not going to do an unboxing for this, because I've already done that before. Although at some point, I was trying to reread the rules, and I was like, I might have to actually know how to play on this, because it's kind of interesting. So if you are interested in knowing that, let me know. But you can pick up these starter sets that have enough cards for 2 players, and they're themed by the 2 different groups. So you get all 6, or there are different ways to pick up big box sets that have all 6 sets in there, things like that. But this also has your level tokens, getting up to level 10, has various counters which keep track of health, money, things like that. And then a runaway limp token. And then each class plays very differently. So we'll kind of get in there and see what they all do. So all the artwork is the same on every pack. Let's see if there's anything else in here, something fun just to see what's on the packs. Yep, Steve Jackson Games, Warehouse 23, that's all the donors, so not a standalone game. Randomized booster. Don't think it tells anything in here about, nope. Nothing about, like, quantities of rarities or anything like that. Just says, welcome, 24 randomized boosters. Yeah, sometimes they have on these sets where they'll be like, oh, it has this many cards in there, this many commons, uncommons. This does not list that. So, alright, so we're going to go ahead and crack these open. I do have a set of the instructions next to me, so if I come across something I feel like we need to talk about, we can definitely do that. But you're going to get various cards like ability cards, loot cards, item cards, stuff like that. So let's see what we got. So pack number 1. Alright, just before we get too far into everything, we're just going to point out some different stuff. So up here is the cost to play a card. So when you're, the way the game works, when you go to play a monster, you play them face down and you pay any amount of gold. And you can use this as a bluffing mechanic. So you could pay 5 gold so your opponent thinks it's a really big monster. You could pay no gold, and your opponent's going to think, oh, it's a chief monster. Or you could even not play a monster and pay gold so your opponent thinks it's a monster. And it's a unique mechanic, but then if they call your bluff and they try to attack you and you either don't have a monster or you don't have enough gold to pay for it, you're considered to be cheating, and then basically you take damage. So it's kind of an interesting concept there. Gold also lets you play other cards as well. Down here in the green will always be your damage, so it'll show how much damage either your monster or an item will cause, and then how much health that monster or ally might have. Then here we have the type line, and that little symbol that usually shows what it belongs to. So, like these ones belong to the blah blah blah. Sorry, my brain's not working here. Belong to the monster group. But then they'll have, like, this is going to show it's a mischief type card. It's going to have that little circle with the face. And then, like, we could have a loot card, which will have, like, a shopping cart. And there'll be various things just to quick identify what group they belong to. And then, of course, on the very bottom, we're going to have name of the artist, John Kovlak, who's the guy that designed Munchkin. So he probably does majority of the artwork, but not all of it necessarily. Card number. The set symbol, which is for this is just a triangle. The rarity, which is C for common. And there's a bunch of different rarities, so we'll go through them when we see some of them. And then the final one is the inker. So this is the person that actually inked the artwork, which is kind of different because typically in these games you just have one artist who does all of it. This is kind of neat that you have two different people that did it. Alright, so we jump in. We have a generic monster. We have the Pied Piper. It says if this is in your stash when you hire a monster, that monster gains 1 attack until the end of the fight. So the stash is a special zone where your monsters go. You play a lot of your stuff to your hoard, which is where you play your items and your stuff. Then you have a battle zone where you can play monsters. If things survive, you have a stash that goes off to the side until the next turn, and then that stuff goes back to your hand. So if your monster survives an attack, you can use them again repeatedly. If they die, they die. But yeah, so it's kind of a neat idea. So it's like, if this guy's in your stash somehow, when you get another monster, he can boost those monsters. So it's a good ally. We have the Trombone. So on this side is going to show the class. So orange cards are for the Druid, I believe. Sorry, the Bard, not the Druid. The Bard class will have lots of instrument or music-based effects. It's a mischief and a curse. Stick this to the target hero card. That hero takes 1 damage when their hero card is zapped. Zap means to turn it horizontally, so it'd be turning it this way. Also known, like in Magic the Gathering, as tapped, or other games as exhausting. But since they can't use some of those terms, they call it being zapped. Crusty Disgusting Undead Monster. When this deals damage to the defender in a fight, it also deals 1 damage to each monster in the defender's stash. Ooh, so that's a good way to take out some of them other characters. Our next common here is we have Combo Rat. Monster Beastie, Survivor. This ability triggers when it survives a fight. Stick this to the defender's hero card. That hero has Bleeding 1. This deals 1 damage to the stuck hero during the Reckoning step. The Reckoning is basically during your upkeep. So it's one of the 3 phases. You have warm up, which you do basically your upkeep stuff. You unzap your cards, you unstash stuff, you draw your cards. And then they have the Reckoning, which is essentially when abilities trigger. There's Munchkin phase, which is when you play your cards. And then the cooldown, which is when you level up. And you'll win the game, since I didn't really mention that, is either you're the last hero left alive. So you lose the game when you have your hero has dealt too much damage and they die. If you have to draw a card and your deck is empty, or you concede the game. So for some reason you just decide, hey, I can't win. And it could be very possible, like, every turn you gain a level, so that's going to matter how many cards you can play and certain things like that. But it could just be a point where you're just like, oh, my opponent is just creaming me. You know, like, I have 2 health, they have 8 health, or 10 health, why would I, I can't win. And you might just decide to quit the game, so. Yeah, that's kind of neat. This guy doesn't really do anything, but if he doesn't die, so this is one of the things where it might be worth trying to trick or bluff your opponent. Be like, oh, I'm gonna play 8 gold or something, right? Like, and they think it's a huge monster. So they might decide, I guess, they might try and block it. Yeah, get rid of it. But you might also decide, just as a 2, they might be like 2 gold. You might be like, okay, it's a weak creature. I can take a hit, whatever. And then, it's going to do that. Alright, up next we have a warrior card. Thwack. So Mischief and Treachery. Zap a weapon you control, deal damage equal to that weapon's attack to any target. So that's kind of neat. I was wondering why she was using a guitar, and I realized she's hitting the bard with her own weapon. That's kind of funny. Alright, up next we have another common. This is for the Cleric, who has an X cost, Plea Bargain. X equals the amount of gold you pay to play this. So whenever you play, look at the top X card of your deck, move one of those cards to your hand, and move the rest to your discard pile. So cool, basically find what you want. There's the Unnatural Axe, probably. As you can see, so far all our cards have been Mischief cards, but we have some other ones. We have a Warrior that gets a specific monster. So Field Armorer. If you overpaid for this, draw 1 card. So this is, again, with the paying for cards to bluff them. Normally, if you play this card down, you'd have to pay at least 1 to be able to field it or hire him so you can actually attack with him. But you could opt to pay 2, 3, 4, just to maybe help guarantee he gets out, various things like that. We have another warrior card. We have Gang, which is the sound of leveling up in RPGs. Mischief and Treachery. Each player gains 1 level. The players cannot increase past level 10. So it helps everybody, because it gives everybody a level, but I think part of that has to do with, one, just because the leveling system doesn't denote you win the game if you hit level 10. It's just how much loot you can have, and they didn't want to make it so that one player could potentially all of a sudden be playing higher cards or have more cards out than another player. So it's still beneficial to you, though. Alright, so then we have some uncommons. So now they'll have the U down there. We have the Bane of Plains. So again, a gray card, so it's generic. So now this has a blue star at the top. This is the loot level. So you can only have loot in your horde equal to your level. So at the beginning of the game, you're level 1. You can only have a level 1 loot. At the end of the turn, you go up to level 2. Then you can have level 2. Now, if you play the other card, that would help you play level 3 quicker or level 4 quicker. But you can never have or exceed more. So if for some reason you ever get loot in there and you're at 4 and you have to put something in and it's 2, you have to get rid of something else. But the Bane of Plains. So loot weapon. This gains 2 attack if it's committed to a fight against a dragon, demon, or undead monster. The bottom down here is your defense, and there's your attack. So this is when an opponent is attacking you, you can commit your weapons to help try and stop them. So this can help you deal 2 damage, potentially 4. Our next uncommon is Spiked Blade. Take 1 damage when it deals damage to a monster. It's just a little bit more powerful for its cost, but you get some defense out of it as well. Then we have our first rare, which is a Dwarf Cleric. So it's just kind of cool. So we got, I believe this is alt art. Had a little meeple showing it's a character, it's a hero. If I'm correct, they have alt art versions of all of the characters. So if you bought the starter deck, with the Cleric, you wouldn't get that version. Or that artwork version, you still get one. I was trying to see if they had a picture of it on the box, but they don't. Yeah, I don't have a picture on here either. But yeah, it's just kind of cool. I get an extra one, so maybe if I bought one and I haven't gotten it yet. So you have Zap, prevent 1 damage to target hero, ally, or monster. This is an interrupt, so you can play it pretty much whenever. So it's actually pretty cool to be able to just prevent 1 damage, helps keep some of your guys alive. You can see he has 20 hit points. You can see in cards that were doing 1, 2, 3 damage, it's going to take a while to take someone out. And our final rare is an ally for our ranger, which are the green colors. And that has a little handshake for allies. So unlike monsters that get played into the monster zone to actually fight, the allies stay back in your horde and give you bonuses. It's zap, squish 1 loot, and that you control, take 2 coin. Again, zapping is turning your card sideways or tapping it. Squishing is basically destroying your card. I don't know why they didn't use the word destroy, and they use the word squish, but it's still kind of fun and gimmicky. Yes, this guy can sit in there and be like, hey, if I have loot, I can get rid of my loot to take 2 extra coin, which might help me pay for something. Maybe I want to get rid of a loot to play something better. Alright, so that was number 1. So if you're still with me, this is decent ways into the video, and we're still on pack 1. This is going to be a multi-part video, because I'm not going to try and do an 2-hour-long unboxing for this. But as we go through this, we'll get quicker, just because we will start running over the same cards eventually. Alright, pack number 2, our first common, another ranger card, the Salvage Salamander, Monster and Dragon. When this card deals damage to a hero in a fight, recycle 1. You may draw 1 card. If you do, move 1 card from your hand to the bottom of your deck. Okay, so that helps you because your deck runs out, you die. So this could help you keep your health alive that way. We have the Used Card Dealer. If you overpaid for this card, you may move 1 card from your discard pile to your hand. That's not bad either. Another Bard card. Backup Dancers. The shark from the Super Bowl. Which is an ally zap. Target hired monster gains 2 attack for this fight, then squish this. Okay, cool. So you get to play it, but then when you eventually use it, it gets rid of them. It's just kind of a one-time effect, but it sits around. We have Ring Wraith. Again, the humor and parody of these cards is one thing I love about Munchkin. So Ring without the W are the wraiths are from like Lord of the Rings. So ringing is also wringing someone's neck like he's doing. Says squish target unzapped ally. Cool, so you can get rid of someone's ally with this card if it's still alive during the attack phase. So just another note, there's something else you can also do during your turn. You can at any point, or during your Munchking phase, when you get to play your cards, you can always squish a location or squish your loot to get rid of it and just move it to your discard pile. But only if they're unzapped. So you can't use a zapped ability on them and then get rid of them. But they're one way to get rid of those cards if you need to make room for more. Alright, next common we have Starstruck. Stick this to target ally, ignore that ally's ability. Ooh, that's fun. And that might be helpful. There might be some allies, potentially, that you could get that could have a big attack or extra defense or something like that, but have a negative effect. And this could even help you get rid of that. That's kind of cool. The Stick of Suffering. This is our first card for our wizard. So now we've seen 5 of the 6 classes. We haven't seen thieves yet. So a loot weapon, take 2 damage when you commit this to a fight. So again, high cost, but take some extra damage for it. Another wizard card, Jazz Hands. Reduce all the attack of all monsters by 1 until the cooldown. Cool, so it's going to make everything a little bit easier to fight. Blandy McBlanderson. Just a monster, doesn't do much, just kind of sits there. There we go. Oh, this is hilarious. So, first of all, where is... You note this guy in the back? Who's Star Trek. He's kind of like black guy with like such a flame beard and mustache, and those are like stars in his eyes. That is DJ Tim. If you've been playing Magic for a long time, you know that Tim is a blue wizard, in the game. Later, they made him into a red character because they didn't think of blue. But he was a prodigal sorcerer who had the ability to tap to do 1 damage. So zap, pay 1, deal 1 damage to target heroes. So they keep referencing him in other games, and I love it. That's hilarious. Alright, oh, even another awesome other game reference. This is our second uncommon. Explodia's Index Fingers. So if you're from a Yu-Gi-Oh! Who has Exodia, he has 5 pieces of Exodia to win the game. This we have Explodia. Monster and Finger, Survivor. This ability triggers when it survives a fight. Point at any card in the defender's hand. The defender must choose to either move that card to the bottom of their deck or give you 1 coin. So I'm going to guess that there's one of the other cards that work together to do some big effect if you have all the fingers. Our next uncommon is Big Baby Bandage, Luke and Trinket. Ignore all abilities that deal bleeding damage to you. Not a bad thing to have, plus it's a generic card. And then our rare for this set is for the Cleric, Home of the Brave. When this card comes into play, if there's a copy of this card in your discard pile, squish this. When a hero runs away, that hero heals 1. So running away is an effect you can do if you don't want to fight a monster. So like if an opponent plays a monster, it's face down again, you don't know what it is, it could even not be a monster. If you don't want to take the risk of fighting it, you can choose to run away. And if you never run away token. So the first time you do it, nothing really happens. The second time you do it, now you're limping away, you'll start taking damage. But it's a good way to avoid having to fight, and basically make your opponent waste all their gold. That's a location, so we have the location symbol there. So that's kind of cool. Definitely neat. So now in that set we got, we got two rares and 2 commons in the last pack. This one we got 1 rare and 3 commons. So it kind of looks like that's sort of how the rarity is going to break down. Somewhere between the last 5 cards are going to be, our last 4 cards are going to be either uncommons or rares or higher. There is always higher. Like I mentioned, there's alternate art for the hero cards. There's alternate art for some of the other cards as well. But let's look at pack number 3. We have Combo Rack again. We have Cheaters Never Win. Play when a hero is caught cheating, that hero takes 2 damage. So it's very helpful. Spin Kick. Deal 4 damage divided any way you choose between target hired monster and its controller. Ooh, nice. So, that's a good way to take out one of their monsters. We have the Card Shark. It's a deck of cards and use a shark. When this is squished in a fight, draw 1 card. We have the Holy Roller. If this damages a higher monster, collect 1, take 1 gold coin from the stockpile and place it on this card. This gains 1 attack for each token on it. Oh, so that's kind of cool. So, if you can damage them, even if you don't kill them for some reason, but if you just damage them, you can keep making this thing more and more powerful. But again, it also costs 4, so I remember you have to be at least level 4 to use it. So we have Kaboom. Deal 5 damage to any target. That's helpful. So there's a picture of our ranger there. Our next common is Leecher, which is a monster. Life O Suction. When this card deals damage, you heal an equal amount. This gains 1 attack for each Leecher in your stash. Ooh, so that's kind of neat. So if you have multiples of these, it could gain even stronger and you get more life every time. We have our first thief card, Stewer. Mischief and Curse. Deal 1 damage to target opponent and stick this to their hero. Bleeding deals 1 damage during the Reckoning step. Definitely not a bad card at all. We have Smug the Dragon, since they have Smog from Lord of the Rings. We have Smug. Reduce the damage to each committed weapon deals to this monster by 1. Okay, cool. This is going to be harder to kill with weapons. Alright, then our first uncommon is the 1%. If you overpaid for this, take 1 money. So it's kind of not bad at all. We have Timber. Deal 2 damage to each monster in target opponent's stash. So now this is kind of a nice thing. It's like, if a monster survives an attack, they go to the stash and they sit around so they can be benefit, and then they give them back to their hand. This could be a card that, like, hey, before they end their turn, you could play this and maybe finish off those monsters. Maybe you didn't kill it, but you did enough damage enough you finish them off so they don't get to keep using them. Alright, then the last card is a rare, and we have Kova, who is an art god. So this is Jan Kovalak, picture of himself. So it's a 7 cost, 7 damage, 7 health monster. So basically, he has no abilities, but he's probably one of the most powerful ones in the game. That's funny. You can't. I always gotta give credit to a creator when they put themselves in a game. Definitely a fun thing. Hey, you made this game. Why not put yourself in it? Why not make yourself super powerful? Nothing wrong with that. And again, he didn't make himself like invincible. He's not like, I can't be destroyed. He just, made himself super bad and an art god. Alright, pack number 4 here. We're going to start with our first common. We have the Holy Ghost. With an E, so instead of a religious spiritual ghost, it's a ghost with literal holes in it. Pay 1 to regenerate. Stash this instead of moving it to the discard pile. This is an interrupt. When you regenerate this, draw a card. So that's fun. You can help get monsters into your pile. The Grody Roadies. Zap target, unzap loot you control. So, like we were saying before, there was that one card that you could play that would turn off your effects. This would be a good one for that. Because you'd still get your 3 attack, 3 health on your monster, but you could, you wouldn't have to zap one of your loot to do it. Although I don't know for sure if it would work because I don't know the timing of it. I'd have to, review that. But that's an idea. We have some armor loot for the warrior. The Belt Buckler. It's a buckler, which is a tiny shield. It's also a belt. Zap, prevent 1 damage to target hero. This is an interrupt. The Blood Geyser. Draw 2 cards. Give 1 blood. When you play this, you may also take 1 to activate this ability. Reduce the gold cost of this by 2. Interesting. That's kind of cool. We have Lame Goblin, which is a Munchkin monster. Has been around since the first game. When this is hired, take 1 damage. Yeah, sounds about right. Legbreaker Joe for the Thief. Sketchy. This ability is only active if you have been caught cheating this turn. While this is in your stash, you may squish this to deal 3 damage to target hero or monster. That's kind of neat. So you get rewarded for cheating with this guy. Alright, so now this is what's crazy about this way this game works. So the other packs we had, first pack we had 2 rares and 2 commons. The second pack we had 3 uncommons and 1 rare. The third pack we had 1 rare and 2 uncommons. So you can see they're not always 100% the same. So it's 4, 4, 3. This pack we have a bunch of uncommons. So we have Offices of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. This comes into play, Zap. When any hero is caught cheating, that hero takes 1 coin. That's actually kind of a funny generic location. We have the Aura of the Wilderness. When a monster deals damage, you prevent 1 of that damage. We have our third uncommon. We have Hans, which we actually got another copy of it right after it. So we got 2 copies of Hans. So I don't know if that was just an error in the pack or what, but it says if you overpaid for this, it gains 1 attack and 1 health for this fight. So that's kind of fun. Then we have Last Ditch. So the last ditch is a location for our wizard. When this card comes into play, if there's a copy of this card in your discard pile, squish this. Any hero may spill 3. Move 3 cards from the top of their deck to the discard pile to flip their runaway marker. So that's actually kind of interesting. So these locations, they kind of make themselves unique because you can only have one in copy. If you have another one in your discard pile, you lose it. But yeah, the spill 3 is kind of neat, so you can flip this over. Then the last card we got is a V down at the bottom here for, I believe it's very rare. Yeah, V is for very rare. So this is a very rare card. This is the Mnemonic Tutor. So Monster Demon. Look to your deck and choose a card. Reveal it, move it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So this is a joke off of Demonic Tutor with a D from Magic the Gathering, which is basically a card that lets you find what you need at a cost. That's the Tutor cards with the TR. So this is the oh god, I'm going to keep messing this up. The Mnemonic Tutor. A Tutor with a D is a person of like royalty, and then mnemonic is like a turn of the turn of phrase type for words. I'm not sure exactly what it's, but yeah, it's like a play on words, which is what we're doing in this entire thing. So it's kind of again a fun nod to a older game, especially Magic. Alright, so yeah, that's kind of cool. So we got one rare out of the pack. We got a bunch of uncommons. You also got a very rare. And that's also why they don't list the rarities on the packs, because they're not set anywhere. Alright, next pack we have Gazebo as our common. Again, a staple monster for Munchkin. If the defender has a location in play, this gains 1 attack. Another Yu-Gi-Oh! Reference. Heart of the Cards. Who has Spawn. Reveal this card from your hand to use this ability. Deal 2 damage to all heroes, then discard this card. So it's a heart literally made out of cards, versus its ability has nothing to do with the Magic or the Yu-Gi-Oh! Version, which lets you take control of somebody else's monster. So this is almost the opposite of it to an extent, because it lets you deal damage to all heroes. We have Vampire Cat, who's a cat who's also a vampire, who has Stetchy. Each bleeding hero takes takes 1 damage, so it's kind of a fun extra effect. We have the Vanilla Mental, so elemental ice cream that's vanilla. The Womboback. If the defender is bleeding, it gains 2 attack. So that's kind of cool. Kaboom, we've already seen. We have to go with Hans. We have Franz, who is the guy sitting on the opposite side of Hans here. So there's Hans, and there's Franz. When this card is in your hat, in your stash, each card named Hans you hire gains 1 attack. So if you guys play these together, that's actually kind of cool. So I got multiple Hans as well. Our next common is Holier Symbol. Zap, you heal 1. Pretty simple. And then we have our first uncommon. We have Up My Sleeve. Look through your deck and choose a trinket. Reveal it, move it to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. Yeah, find a card is always good. It's a specific card, but again, if you're building your deck, you know to include this to help you out. The next one is Repeat Offender. When you commit this to a fight, roll the die. 1 to 3, roll a die has no effect. And 4 to 6, zap this, it's still committed to... Unzap this, it's still committed to a fight. Okay, so that's cool. So basically you can use him to absorb 4 damage. Well, if you roll 4 to 6, you can unzap him, which lets you Still use him for the fight, but now he's available to be used again for a later fight as long as he survives. Then we have 2 other different rarities in here, and this is why this game is crazy. Alright, so in place of our rare, we have an X card. An X card is a variant. So, this could be a variant of a rare, common, uncommon, whatever. This is alt art. So this is Rules Lawyer, so we haven't seen the regular one yet, but if we do, we'll definitely show off the differences. It says pay 1 to regenerate, and then Stealthy cannot be targeted while it is in play. So that's kind of fun, so you can basically survive very well. The Law Office of Munchkin. Then the last one is a W. W stands for We Destroyed This Card. So essentially these are supposed to be unbalanced cards they put in the game. Because so it says Hot Poker, it says Loot Trinket. When you have usually you have exactly 5 cards in your hand. Zap, reveal your hand, deal 1 damage to any target, plus 2 for every card named Ace of Spades in your hand. So if you have a bunch of Ace of Spades, you could do a ton of extra damage. Even if you have 2 of them, that's 5 damage. So yeah, that could be pretty powerful. When you have 20 health, taking 5 damage could very easily be pretty bad. Alright, so that was that pack. I think we'll do 2 more, and then we'll end this video, and then we'll start part 2. If you guys are enjoying this, if you like the Munchkin game, let me know in the comments, because then maybe I'll try and pick up some more of the other sets, or I can always go through some of the sets that I already have. Maybe I'll try and pick up another box, but I can also go through some of the other stuff, because I have 3 other expansions. I'm still trying to finish off my collection, so I wouldn't mind picking up more boxes. We have Executioner, who's his ex-lover. So Elmer the Executioner, he loved his job, so the Executioner, so he's dead. Who has Survivor, deal 1 damage to target ally. Here's another good reference. We have Barbarian the Librarian. So it's a good Conan reference. When you squish a monster controlled by your opponent, draw a card. There's our field armor we've seen before. Here is Rar. This is again a reference to Magic the Gathering being giant growth, which lots of times shows like a tiny creature like a squirrel getting super powerful. The target hired beastie gains +1 attack and 1 health for this fight. That's funny. RNGs. So RNG stands for random number generator. So in RPGs or lots of games, anytime you roll a dice, that's kind of what this is. And RNGs is a reference kind of being like someone that's super lucky. So it says roll the die, X equals the amount showing on the die. So his attack can be anywhere from, 1 to whatever size dice you're using. I guess if you're it doesn't specify what side die this has in this game. If it's a 6-sided die, yeah, it's up to 6, but if you're using a 20-sided die for some weird reason, that could be very powerful. But it's probably a 6-sided die. Here we have Irresistible Disco, the YMCA. The crystal ball is the mirrored ball is his eye. That's funny. Zap or unzap target loot or ally. Encore after resolve, stash it instead of discarding it. So that's kind of cool. It's another way for a card to get into your stash. You can reuse it. Beelzebub. When this card is hired, you may take 1 damage. If you do, take 2 coin. It's a May effect, so it's not bad. We have a V in here. And this is just popped in at the beginning of our uncommon, so I'm just going to show it now. Which again is very rare. Amulet of Ridiculous Power. When you play a mischief that deals damage, this deals 1 damage to target ally or monster. Nice. So you get some extra damage from that. We have a first uncommon, which is a Big Baby Bandage. A second uncommon, which is Silver Bullet. Zap, deal 2 damage to target stash monster, then squish this. If this damage causes the target monster to be squished, that monster is instead removed from the game. Ooh, nice. We have Relentless Slobber Beast. He's a demon. Move all committed allies to their owner's hands. Nice. And then our rare is the holiest symbol. We have the holier symbol. Now we have the holiest symbol. Zap, pay 1, you heal 2. Or zap, pay 1 money and squish all hero cards stuck to your hero. So you're either cleaning off your character or getting some extra health. Neither one of those are bad effects. Alright, so we got one last pack for this video. Got some definitely cool cards. I'm pretty sure I got at least a few I haven't had before, which is definitely awesome for me. Alright, our next card is Squidzilla in our next pack. Monster Demon with Survivor. Stick this to the defender's card. That hero has Bleeding 1. Another Ring Wraith. Another Suffering of Sickness. Another Officers of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. So, oh, it wasn't uncommon before. Oh, it's because we got a bunch of uncommons in it. So I was trying to figure out why that card seemed different. Alright, we have Scorch. Yes, we got random uncommon at that point. That's why I was confused. We're still in the commons. Scorch, deal 2 damage to target ally or monster. Close range attack. Another Heart of the Cards. We have a Dog Pile. This is by Katie Cook. She's a really fun artist. She's done some other Munchkin sets. Like Munchkin ponies, and I don't know if she did babies, but I like her artwork. We have Dog Pile. Deal 1 damage to all allies in play. Target opponent takes 1 damage for each ally squished this way. We have another X, which are our variants. You have Healing Salvos. This is a full art one. It's just kind of neat because it has more art, has all this relevant stuff on the bottom. But that's kind of cool. Roll a die, you heal the emote showing on the die. So that's definitely cool. We have another Aura of the Wilderness. There's our Hot Potato. It's uncommon. Zap. Move this card to target hero's horde and keep it zapped. That hero takes control of the card. If this is in your horde during any hero's cooldown, take 1 damage. Cool, so you gotta keep moving it around. That's definitely a fun idea. Next uncommon is the Pilfergeist. This card is squish, target opponent discards 1 card, and stealthy. And our final card for this video, and the rare, is Elf Commune. Location. If a hero has exactly 2 cards in their hand, during their reckoning step, that hero draws 2 cards. So very interesting. Whether the ranger character has abilities to like keep at that exact amount, that might be a thing. But yeah, definitely cool. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed video 1 for Munchkin. Video 2, I'll probably just video 2. We'll see if we can finish off the box. We'll probably end up doing this in a 3-parter just because there's so many cards, but we'll see. See you guys then. Bye.